Hey, what's up? You want to come on in? Hey everybody, welcome to my garage. My name is Mike. I'm from Long Beach, California. And let me show you my ONYX. So back in the early 2000s, when everybody was starting to get into EVs, you know, we had the Bird scooters, like that whole idea of riding your type of EVs. I bought one. I bought a scooter. I liked it, I had a great time, but it wasn't fast enough for me. Eventually I looked into a few EVs, I upgraded. I ended up getting a Grizzly Aerial, but that wasn't powerful enough for me. I looked around, didn't find anything I really liked until one day I went up to the Griffith Park Observatory. I saw a bunch of guys riding this strange looking bike. I thought it was kind of unique looking. You know, it had really that Café style flavor. I loved it. I asked him what it was, and they said it was an ONYX. So I went home that day and looked it up, and it was history ever since. Ended up modding it. I think this is a version 1.5. I got it in 2022, basically silver DRT. Took it out of that style and I went into more adventure. So I painted it all black. Even the nuts and everything are all black. I integrated the gold back into it again because the front brake had the gold, so it made it easier for me to choose a color set. And I wanted to frame the style after Japanese Café racer styles. So that's why I integrated the whole geometric mountain range look to the bike. One of my favorite features as far as visuals is this is a black vinyl wrap. On the right conditions and light, it's reflective, so it turns bright white. And then I went with the carbon fiber honeycomb shaped wrap on the top of the wood panel. And I thought it looked really good. And I added a few other features as far as the look. Come 2025, I switched it up and I kind of went into a more moto / adventure look. I added a front fairing, took off the rear rack and got a custom moto style frame. Had to mod it a little bit to get it to fit correctly, but it came out really nice. I went with Omega shocks. I inverted the pedals, so now they're both flush downward. And then I got myself Tapia seat. I chose a bunch of different seats. I like the Café look, and they actually kind of embodied that look really well. So I went with the Tapia Café back hump. I think it was a good choice. And I don't know if you can notice, it's still in the line of the body frame, but it's lower with the seat. So we modded the seat and pushed the seat frame down. So now it's like sitting right onto the frame instead of the 4 pegs that were sticking out. So I think that looks a lot better. You kind of give it a more aggressive look. Inside, the battery is by Vinny. I got that back early in 2022. We went with the 55 amp hour, which was like kind of unheard of at the time because he was the one and the only few that I knew that was able to fit a 55 amp hour and it fit really nice and snug. Didn't have a problem. And his batteries are pretty great. So I loved it. It's Samsung 55 amp hour. The motor is actually pretty stocked. It's 205s. I didn't change anything. And then this year, 2025, I upgraded the controller to a car driver controller. Even though I like my Kelly, had a lot of great torque, but in LA ride situations, I prefer a little more stretch than hill climb. I don't do that much hill climb, unless I live in West Hollywood, which I don't. But eventually I think I will upgrade it to maybe a 273 Q motor, but that's that for a while. The only other new mod I got was I bought a torque helmet, all black carbon, and I incorporated the pattern on the bike onto the helmet. Oh, and I got brand new Cinco's 241 tires. I like the hybrid tread. Even though it's a little bit more dirt than street, it still has a nice clean look to it. And it kept its stylized look for like that whole Japanese cafe style that I'm going for. And then I have LED wrapped on the body. I don't like my LED to be obvious, so everything is kind of stealthy looking. But when you turn it on, you can definitely see the LED. I rewrapped the hood and I had an LED just right here took it out. I'm going to do it more flush so you don't see it, but when you turn it on, you'll see. I kept carbon fiber hex shape onto the front of the fairing, and then also the mud flap guard, put it on there too, so it kind of matches the look. And I'm thinking eventually probably taking out the pegs, but I'm not sure about that yet. But legally wise, I don't know if it's a safe idea yet. The handlebars, when I went with the really nice rear view mirrors, I loved it. I spent like a lot of money, and I noticed I've probably crashed this bike a few times already. Those are the first thing to go. So I went the really cheap $8 ones. They're metal, they look fine, and if I break them, there's not a big problem. So that's my suggestion: is don't spend too much money on the extremity parts, because those are the first parts to go. I would focus on the motors and the internals, and then you can decorate later. The lights, I even moved the stock turn signal lights over to the fairing. I didn't change it up because I like the way it looks like little knobs, kind of give you that little bug look. I did also swap out the headlights for internalized turn signal lights. So when you turn the turn signal lights, it changes into left or right inside the light bulb. And I think that works out pretty well. My future mods, I'm going to definitely change out the motor. I'm going to probably upgrade to a bigger battery, 100 amp hour, get a taller cover. I'm really kind of picky about that because I don't like it too knobby looking. I still like it kind of low profile. And then maybe I'll get some wheel hubs, and it's just to add a little extra speed because the fairing and the wheel hubs kind of, bump it up a little bit. But I think it's pretty good right now as it is. I do like to add a little more LED lights because I'm a raver style type person. So I think it'll be kind of fun for night rides. And I'm working on a few projects as far as heat distributors for the motor. And I'm going to try to incorporate some kind of beta testing, see if it works out. Because I know a lot of times during the summer in LA, it can get pretty wretched with the heat. I think I like it the way it is now. I don't think I really want to change that much after that. I think the biggest part of this bike is the community. I really love the community. We're a bunch of great guys. We share a lot of information and we try to help each other out. For ONYX, we really uplift and exchange knowledge that'll make our bikes a lot better. I feel because of that, it helps us want to ride more. Because if I had to look up everything on myself and try to figure it out, I don't know if I would want to ride that much. We always exchange notes, try to solve problems, and we do fantastic community rides. I definitely recommend people checking it out. Another big reason why I went with ONYX is because this bike has a lot of room for customization. It makes the bike your bike, and it really embodies that. When you come to a ride out, you'll see a lot of us, it's all personalized to who we are, and you'll remember that bike to that person. So that's another great reason why I like it. And it's a part of that community aspect. And I think because of that, it'll go a long way. And I definitely love that. I went with the Circle 7 is because it's an homage to the old Café racing styles where everybody just, put together their bikes and they go out on the dirt train and just take off and race, and everybody had their own numbers. And it's also homage to the fact that I like vintage style vehicles. Like my father-in-law's, his favorite car is the Shelby Cobra, which is year 64. And, it has a circle plate, 64. And of course, his is ONYX black. So it kind of made sense. I took up his style. And I think it's a great look for a bike that's going to eventually become pretty much vintage, if it hasn't already, especially with all the EVs out right now. This one just, you always remember what ONYX looks like. If you guys want to follow up with my journey, I do a lot of reels and funny skits and stuff with my stuff. And I always post them on my bike. It's in Instagram. It's under Mike Nguyen Win. So you're welcome to come join it. And then if you have any questions, hit me up. I'll help you. Definitely, you guys should join us for the ride. Definitely a must.